Welcome to Small Scale Life.
Hey everybody, this is Tom from Small Scale Life. Once again, having a sundown hoedown. Seems to be the thing lately, where I'm coming out and doing some work in the garden at sundown. Go figure. Well, hopefully you guys can see everything and try to make this pretty straightforward. I got some comments about the pruning and the pruning videos I made and the post I made. People wanted to see what a sucker was, how I actually cut it, and so I thought I'd come out and do another video showing exactly what I'm talking about. So this is the garden area. We're going to change it all up next year. It'll be a lot of fun. And you can see that I've got tomatoes on the north side on these two beds. And the reason I put them there was because they'll shadow everything. So you put smaller stuff in front and have your tomatoes trellised up in the back. And I'm using 2x4s and conduit to trellis everything. And that keeps everything growing up in the right direction. Allows me to not use tomato cages. I hate tomato cages. And really allows these plants to grow. I mean, look at this cherry tomato plant. It is over the trellis here, and it's doing really well. And you can see, you know, I have suckers on this thing. So let me show you what a sucker looks like. And I've got one right in front of your face. One is right here. So how do I tell a sucker? I've got the main stem here, and I've got a branch, and right in the armpit, right here, this is the sucker, this guy. Now there's a couple ways you take that out. You've got clippers, got a knife. Let's show you how easy it is. Boop, gone. Sucker controlled. So that's the sucker right there. Looking up a little bit, you know, you got to make a decision here. This is the main stem here. This is the branch. This, right in the V, is the sucker. And you can let these grow. Actually, this branch here is a sucker. I let it grow. But I'll just show you how easy it is. You come up with your clippers, snip it. Gone. History. And I just do follow chop and drop. I chop it, I drop it, and away we go. Again, here's a sucker here. Main stem is this thicker piece. We've made it into the main stem. And actually, so you can see it here. Right here, this is the main stem. I've made it into the main stem now. And here's the sucker right here. See that? That's the sucker. And just with the little paring knife, oops, gone. Sucker eliminated. And it's like that. These cherry tomatoes are notorious. They are notorious for having suckers. And they're just all over, and they keep coming. They keep coming. So you go through it once, you know, I went through it, and then I just keep going through it, and I'm looking for suckers, finding little suckers here and there. Here's another one. Main stem, my trellis going up here, and here's the sucker right here. And this one even has some buds on it. I could transplant this sucker right here and get some tomatoes on it if I had enough season, but I'm kind of running out of time. So take the paring knife and cut it off. Now, if I wanted to, what I would do is I would take those leaves off, chop and drop. I would take these buds off, because we're not going to be growing tomatoes with these for a while. Now I would put this in some water overnight or for a couple days, and I want you to look at this. See all these hairs on the stem? These are all roots. They will make roots. So I could put this in the water. I'll show you. We are growing some curly willow. I've got some water right here. I could set it right in here and it could start to hydrate. And then in a couple days, I could take it out and plant it. And I'll show you where I've done this. So I took 2 of those suckers a few weeks ago, and I dropped them. I cut them, and I've dropped them into my beans. So these are 2 suckers. They're cherry tomato plants now, and they're growing. Just doing that process. And so I work all of these plants this way. You know, again, this is a black cherry tomato. Again, it's a cherry tomato. It's growing suckers like mad. Again, you can see it right here. Main stem, sucker, right here. So, taking cutters, I'll remove that. Gone. Sucker neutralized. Again. Wow. Okay, you're cool. So here we go. Main stem, branch, and here's a small sucker. And I can just pinch them right off. Right? I don't need the snippers for that one. Let me show you some other things that you'll find. There's a sucker here. Now this tomato plant, actually, was it this one? This guy right here. This tomato had a long stretch all the way up here with no tomatoes whatsoever. And now that I pruned it, I've got a bunch of tomatoes here. I've got a bunch of tomatoes here. And it's kind of funny because this is on a sucker. See? I have a branch and a sucker coming up. So this is actually on a sucker. It's got more fruit coming than the main plant. This has tomatoes here. There's some tomatoes here. And there's tomatoes going to be coming up here. So, you know, this is a more mature sucker. I could snip it right now, but we'll just move on for the moment. I wanted to show you something else. So, you know, in the quick guide and in the video and the videos and everything, I talked about on some of these clusters of tomatoes, you'll find a branch like this. So we have the stem coming up, and then we've got a branch right here. I'm going to take these off. I'm going to just take that off, and I want all that energy to go into these tomatoes. I don't want to grow branches. I don't want that energy to go into branches. Here's another one. Branch coming up into the tomatoes. Here's this branch here. Unnecessary. You can just pinch that off. Or you can use the knife, or you can use the clippers. But look at this. I mean, this thing is taller than me. Right? And here you go again. Branch, the flowers for the tomatoes, and a leaf. We'll take that off. So I just work these plants one at a time. Here again, branch, tomatoes, leaf. Remove that guy. That's it. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And there's a lot of plants. Another cherry tomato plant. These things get out of control if you leave them to their business. It's amazing. This thing is going crazy now. And again, we've got a small little leaf coming off. We'll take that off. Just be very careful with it. Here's a sucker coming off here. Main stem. It's coming up here. Growing tip. This is a sucker. So, with my clippers, I'll just come in, snip it off. And I just practice chop and drop. I'm just adding to the compost. Now, if you've got blight on any of your tomatoes, do not chop and drop. Get that stuff out of there. You do not want to put more blight into your garden. So if there's any spots, anything like that, do not compost it. Do not pass go. Do not collect $100. Get rid of that stuff. So this is the project, and with these tomatoes, they keep growing suckers. It's a constant process. I've got a pack aroma here, cherry here, San Marzano. There's 3 San Marzanos, and then the black cherry here. And again, black cherry and the cherries are notorious for getting suckers. Now, side stems. I've removed all the side stems. You can see all the side stems have been removed. No branches down low. These guys have side stems. What do I mean by that? Well, let's get down here. So hold on, I'm going to take off the camera. So hold on. Don't get sick now. Anyway, I think I can get it up. Here we go. GoPro is us. Okay. So here we've got our cherry tomato plant. And here we have a sucker right here. This is a sucker. You can remove that. And these two low branches that are dragging on the ground, these are the side stems. And we can come right in and take them. And where's our first fruit? Our first fruit on this plant is right here. So I'm going to take this side stem, this side stem, and this sucker, and this side stem. And I'm going to take this branch and this branch. So I have gone through and eliminated everything below the first fruit. I want this plant to be concentrating on these tomatoes. And this plant, same thing. Remove everything below the first fruit. And this guy is right on the it's right on the flower cluster. So we are pushing all the energy into our tomatoes and not into foliage. I might even take this one. There we go. And now I'll get a rope or a string line attached to that tomato and bring it up. So that's the process. That's what I go through. That's how I manage my tomato plants. And you can just see that these tomato plants are responding. Look at all the clusters here, 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 here. I mean, now we're getting a lot of tomatoes, right? That's what we want. We even have some ripe ones right down here. Right on the fence line. So this is Tom from Small Scale Life. You can do this. It's just pruning, using a knife, using your fingers, using clippers. If you need some clippers, go to kit.com/smallscalelife. We've got clippers there, Fisker clippers, and I love them. They work great. They do the job. So check that out. Feel free to check back in, and I should do a garden update this week. And we got a lot going on, including some blight or some pests. Yes, they're back. The squash borers are back. Had to put down one of my zucchini plants today, so I've just got the big one left. And so we're just going to see what happens. But this is Tom from Small Scale Life. Hope you guys are doing well. Got peppers, tomatoes coming. It's coming along, guys. It's coming along. And so I hope you're doing well. I hope you continue to learn, do, and grow with us. And we'll check you very soon here at Small Scale Life. So take care, everybody. Have a good night. Bye-bye.